On today's episode of Shop Talk with TNT, we went down to Infinity Retail Services and talked with Kevin and Wendy Jensen about their business.
You know, in our detailed note taking that we took here before the show, we had a couple things written down that we wanted to talk to Kevin and Wendy about, and we never got to, and kind of felt bad about it. One thing that it's worth pointing out is that they are. And I'm going to butcher this. I don't really. I mean, I know what it means, but I don't know if we got it right here. But they are a member of a part of the Women's Business Enterprise, which means that they are majority owned by a woman. So that's a. I don't think that's a. I don't think that's something that happens every day. You know. So I mean that's a good thing for their business. And another thing that Wendy and Kevin had done, and he had told us that it was driven by their employees, was last year that wasn't last year, 2 years ago, 2020, whatever the year 2 years ago was, the school year of 2020, when all the kids had to go home due to COVID and be homeschooled for the rest of the year. They actually, and I believe what they did is they kind of put together some scrap material that they had, and I'm sure at some point in time they had to buy the material too, but they donated desks. It was a little simple kit that people just came, they picked up, and they took home. They took to their grandmas, wherever it was that they were doing their schoolwork for the year. But they were able to just pick up these desks, and they were free of charge. It went home. It was a simple little process to put them back together, but their team designed it, their team packaged it, and their team gave it away. I don't remember the number. I know it wasn't like 1 million of them, but I wrote down the number 1,500, but I want to see like 1,200 or
1,200, and they had people all the way from Milwaukee.
Yeah, driving to get these things.
So 6 hours.
Yeah.
6 hours to drive these desks. So that was just a cool thing that they did for, once again, people had a hard time, and they kind of stepped up to the plate, which I think you're going to see throughout the video, all the different times that they've kind of always stepped up to the plate, if it's not from their donations, from their employees, to, you know, really wanting to keep everything localized, and how much they really support the community. So we really thank Kevin and Wendy for letting us come out today and give them this interview.
Yeah, no, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Hey everybody, Trent from Farmers Insurance.
Tad with FlakePlace.com.
And we are here today at Infinity Retail Services in Turtle Lake. We have Kevin and Wendy Jensen, who are the owners and operators of Infinity. Thank you guys for having us here. My first question for you, what does Infinity do, and how did it all start?
The short answer is guns and drugs, because that's a lot easier to explain. But we outfit stores, retail environments, so that's a pretty wide spectrum. But any retail store that you go into, we potentially make the furniture and fixtures that go into that environment, along with the monitors. We supply the media players, the content, make sure the whole store is up and running, and functioning and ready for sales, essentially. So, wood, metal, plastic, electronics, you name it, everything we take responsibility for. Might be carpet in some instances.
Okay.
So let's try to do a whole turnkey fit out.
So potentially I walk into any kind of store, I mean, from the ceiling to the floor, you guys have done the whole thing.
Yeah, most of the time the ceiling doesn't play a role, just because the ceiling is part of the contractor, but there might be some lighting elements that we supply that get installed by an on-site electrician. So
you guys design it and propose it to them, or do they kind of say, this is what we want, make it happen?
it really depends on the customer, so there's a little bit of both.
Okay.
But most cases we're designing it based on a lot of their influence. They know their product, they know what they need to sell. They need to portray that to us, and then we can figure out, the layout of what's going to go into that environment.
You guys have your own designers here that design that?
Yes.
If the customer asks? Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So, how many people work here? So, like if you said you had wood products, metal products, carpeting. I mean, do you guys do the install and everything too?
Yeah.
You do. You go out there and actually install
logistics.
Okay. Okay.
One of the things that we've set ourselves apart, at least we feel we've set ourselves apart from the competitors, is the fact that we take full responsibility from everything until it's completely installed. So if anything goes wrong, it's behind the scenes. We take care of it. The customer really, doesn't even know that those issues occurred. With all the transportation challenges nowadays, installation. But we've got a really good network of folks that take care of that for us.
So from the snout to the tail, you guys take care of the whole thing, if that's what they want.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some cases they want to be more engaged, and that's fine.
Okay.
And you guys are nationwide too. This isn't just a regional store, retail shop that you guys are doing. You guys go all across the nation, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you guys are both Turtle Lake grads, just like me and Tad are. And I heard a rumor that you guys started this out of your house. You just had twin girls, and you were working late hours after the kids went to bed. Can you guys kind of tell me about the dynamics of being an entrepreneur and kind of like bringing this whole 100,000 square foot building to life?
Well, back in the day, you said it was just to put bread on the table.
Well, it really was. I mean, when I left my job, Whitney had left her job before that, just to take care of take care
Well,
of
at that
all
point,
of the
4
duties
kids.
with the kids.
So at that point, you had four kids.
Yep.
Twins that were infants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So
That's when you decided it was a good time to quit our jobs and start a business.
well, it's funny you say
I'm
that,
not picking
Ted,
on you, but
because I really had no idea of our finances. Wendy took care of all that. I just worked and then gave her the paycheck, and she took care of it. And I was going through just some issues with where
I know how
was,
that goes.
where I was, where I was working, and I felt like there was more energy being applied to more of the soap opera aspect of what a company can be versus trying to supply the best product you possibly can for a customer. So, and it's easy for a company to do that. They kind of gravitate to that.
Yep.
It ends up the leadership needs to redirect things at that point. So I just asked her, I said, this is just,
You were miserable.
yeah, you said, you gave me permission to resign,
did.
and then I got back and I started looking at our finances. I'm like, well, why in the world? Did you do that? So,
I believed in you. Believed in us.
yeah.
So that was started at the house, not the house you currently live at.
No, Upper
It
Turtle
was started at a different house.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then, so,
in the garage.
yep. And when we say garage, we literally mean the
Two-car
attached
garage.
garage to
Yep.
the house.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you built a house, or bought a house, you just built a house.
Built a house. Yeah.
And then at that point is when you started building buildings that would accommodate your business. Before, you were just kind of making your house work.
Yeah, we actually had built a house. We had kind of 2 mortgages at that time, thinking it'd be just
fun.
easy to sell.
Why not
that
add
house.
that in there?
So we weren't the brightest for sure, but we got pretty lucky, So it worked out. We just moved from a small garage to a little bit bigger garage, and then to a garage with a little loft for an office.
To a small
Then we went
shed.
to a small, an addition of a little pole shed, and then to a little bit bigger pole shed, and then
Which Tad, you helped us out.
Full disclosure, I did work. I was there when the 2-story garage, the little pole shed, which was not used for work at that time, but then you had built the bigger building.
Yep.
And then I actually worked there through when you didn't quit working there, but you started leasing spaces in other towns, bigger
Yep.
spaces.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I made 2 St. Cloud trips. I think.
okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yep, I saw that part of
We
it too.
did that. Yep, we did that for what, a year? I think we had leased those facilities.
Yeah, Kurt will get a kick out of this because we told him it might be for a month or two. It ended up being for, I don't know, maybe a year that he was living in a
He was
hotel.
living
so,
in a hotel for
there
a
was
year.
there was a number of really good friends and folks that did some work for us that didn't know what they really signed up for, but it worked out great.
So,
And then we broke ground here.
yeah, and that's the cool part about what you guys did. Is, you essentially took a bunch of the people that you really know and care about, and just kind of threw them in a pot, stirred them up, and said, "I want you to do this."
Well,
and we're successful at it.
we were just trying, I was busy trying to find work,
Yep.
and figure it out.
Yep.
And then it was really just handed over to, figure this out,
Yeah.
figure out how to make
Yeah.
it, and it just kept growing one project at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. One of the cool things I thought to be able to talk to you two about was, we're here in your place of work, and you're married, and you both work here, and then you go home. You have 4 kids, which 2 of them are still in school. But How does that? I'm just going to leave it open. How does that dynamic work? It obviously does, but I mean, I'm sure there's challenges and everything too. But how is that? I'll just leave it at that.
I'll speak to that.
Okay.
There are the obvious challenges.
Yeah.
But we pretty much said from day one, we try to keep business in town
Yep.
and home at home. But there's always times where we do bring things up as
So
we're
are
sitting.
you waiting? It's 8:00. I'm going to get it
Yeah.
until yesterday.
But we on occasion will bring things up in the evening, and he'll just, nope, I'm not talking about that tonight. Okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
So sometimes we have to put each other in that same place.
Yep.
So okay, you got to pull the wall over. Okay,
Yep.
now we're home.
Yep.
So don't
Yep. Now we're
speak
husband and
to-
wife,
Yep.
mother and father.
Yeah. And he likes to be out in the woods, and he doesn't like to be in the house much anyway, so that's helpful when we get home.
I traveled a lot, especially when we were first starting.
Yep.
So I was gone a lot.
Yep.
So I think that actually probably, I don't know,
That probably did help.
probably helped because, I mean, when I finally did come back, it didn't take long before she was like, well, when are you flying out again? Don't you have a trip tomorrow or something? Go somewhere, do something,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it certainly is not going to work for everybody. And I think we
Yep.
got lucky that we were able to separate that.
Yep.
But Wendy, on the other hand, takes care of really completely different
Right,
side
that's
of the
what I was gonna
business.
say.
So I dealt with just really the manufacturing, the production side, the sales side,
Yep.
and then I'd kind of cut ties. I handed over to her for all the accounting and the invoicing and
So you
paying
guys
all the
kind of
bills.
extend the way your personal life works with your work. I mean, really.
Kind of,
So that I think has worked well, where there really wasn't an overlap. We both weren't in sales, we both weren't taking care of accounting. So she was able to do her job, I was able to do mine. As long as we both did a good job, then
yeah. And
Yeah.
we bounce things off each other, and
Yeah.
or whatever. But
So, you guys are obviously Turtle Lake grads, like we said, built everything up. I'm going to say culture that I can see within the building is pretty unique. Why do you think your culture is unique in the way of, like, you walk through the doors and it's pretty much all Turtle Lake based community members that are working here, and it seems like you guys really embrace the Turtle Lake kind of motto of just like bringing everybody together.
yeah, I don't know. First off, I barely graduated probably, so maybe
Back to that initial
she was a
thing.
little higher on that level, but
thanks.
no, I think a lot of that comes from the learnings of where I had worked previously, and I think Wendy as well. It's like you learn what's good and you learn what's bad, and what's important, I think, with being an entrepreneur is being able to figure out what's good and bad and how you want to run your business when you actually do start a business. What do you want
How
your
you
business
want
to
be
look like?
treated.
Yeah, how do you want to be treated? What do you want the culture to be like?
Yep.
And so, starting from scratch, you're able to really nurture that, and you find the right people that also agree with that. That's huge. You find somebody that really doesn't, and you just can't, they can't be part of that environment. So it's important that everybody's kind of signs up for that when they work here. Yeah, we've got just a phenomenal team right now. I could be proud of them. It's just,
How many people do you guys employ here full time?
Roughly, I'd just say 50. It fluctuates.
Okay.
We can have a good handful of temp labor as well. It just depends on jobs.
Is your work kind of the roller coaster? You're really busy and then you're slow, really busy, really slow.
certainly not perfectly stable, but
Yeah.
I'd say in the last couple of years it's been more stable than it ever has
Okay.
been.
Okay.
But yeah, you don't know what the future's going to bring. I mean,
Yep.
with all the discussions on what the economy looks like right
Yep.
now and just inflation, you try to just take each battle. Back, I think I'm done saying at the end of the year that, okay, we'll try to make it another year. But that was our mentality when we first started out was,
Yeah.
we'd meet with our accountant and I'd say, well, I guess
Made it
we'll
one
see if
year.
we can make it one more year. Let's see if we can make it one more year. It looks like we paid our bills. We can keep moving on. And that's really the mentality that it's hard to get rid of that. Even at this point, it's, well, I guess we'll give it another try. We'll try to make it through 2022.
Okay.
These are all new challenges, and I've never experienced anything
No.
climate like we have right now. with prices going up and actually being concerned about finding materials that we normally take for granted. So it's
that was going to be my next question is how has and I just had a conversation, maybe somebody out there is listening, that I was talking with in the grocery store yesterday, and I must have said it 4 times. That's a stupid problem to have, but like you're saying, you can't find this, you can't find that, in Wisconsin it's hunting season Saturday, and you can't find shells for your gun. I mean, we have so many. I said it's a stupid problem to have, but how has that affected your business? I mean, have you had to call customers and say, hey, I can't get this product to you on time because I can't get necessary pieces and parts?
We don't do that. Yeah,
we find a way.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a smart team. I mean, they're sourcing things way in advance, just a lot farther ahead than what they ever have been. Who knows what next year's going to bring? But so far, no, we haven't.
That hasn't affected you guys.
I think that's something we've prided ourselves on all along. Our customers have very, very high expectations. I think a lot of companies can say that, but you don't get second chances with most of our customers. Okay. You have to deliver, and that's the mentality that everybody here plays within that arena every day. Everything needs to be included. You need to execute perfectly every single time.
Okay. Even trucking and transporting stuff, you guys have been okay?
Yep.
That's a testament to you guys working together.
Yeah, and we've got a diverse logistics program.
Okay.
So even for a small company like ours, it's diversified so that you're not just relying on one sole carrier, or you're not relying on just your own fleet. It's diversified, so you've got options, especially when you're transporting across the country. There's going to be certain companies out there that can deliver to California a lot less expensive than what you can send somebody out there, drive out there and come back. So, all options are always on the table.
That lady cracks me up.
It's not break time.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was going to say, when you're talking about your employees, I didn't know you guys did this. If you drive around town, you're going to see some stuff that says donated by Infinity Retail, or a donation was made. The donation program you guys have with your employees. Tell us about that. That's really cool. I really like that.
Yeah.
Well, you had actually initiated it, I don't know, 8, 9 years ago. We just wanted to give back to the community like we always do, but we wanted to be able to do that within our employees as well, give them the option. So every year around the holidays, then we give them money to put towards a local cause. We used to do kind of just a wide, American Cancer Society and, just different ones like that. But now we've just, I guess, kept it tight within the Turtle Lake community, it's first responders, the fire department, police department.
Not Tad's Bar Tab?
Not Tad's Bar Tab, no.
It's not on the list yet. We'll see.
I'll keep submitting my request.
It just didn't feel right when we were just deciding amongst ourselves, like, where to send the donations. We felt like we wanted just all their input, just like we do on everything else.
Yep.
An ultimate decision needs to be made, but this was easy to allow them to direct funds where maybe they care about the most. The American Legion, maybe they've got a lot of family members that are in the military. Maybe that's where they want to send those funds, and we wanted them to be able to direct it. So it's really a matter of them directing those funds, on behalf of the company.
That's fascinating. I've never heard of a program like that, but I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think it just goes back to the whole team aspect that you guys have built here, and goes back to the culture. You guys are really trying to, everything that you guys bring in, you're trying to get it back out into the community, which is really cool. So, my question is, are you guys looking to hire people? Are you guys looking to grow? Or what's your guys' kind of plan here in the next 12 months? Are you guys looking to get more employees, or are you guys looking to build the building, maybe put it on top, maybe indoor football field? I don't know, just throwing out ideas.
I thought about putting a track around, but it's a little
Sydney school track.
We've never really had a great plan, because we've allowed, kind of the long story is we don't have an outside sales force.
We've tried.
So all our sales really come with the work that we do, and that's, I think. So then you allow the customers to really drive you in that case. If our customer is interested in placing a large order or getting involved in a large program, then we just have no choice but to add on somewhere.
Okay.
Build a building, find the space, and then find more folks that want to be part of the team. At this point in time, we are looking for some more employees.
Yeah.
Folks that want to, whether it's in the machining area or in the assembly plant. But that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're at the end of the video. We're going to show just a quick view of the entire operation, just kind of a quick, and you're going to see some of the machines that these guys use. I actually toured it last night, and once again, going back to not taking shop classes in high school, taking home ec because you have to cook every day. There's a lot of machines and processes that I have no idea what they do, so it's pretty cool to see them live and actually up and running. So,
is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I mean, thanks for the opportunity. This is really neat what you guys do, and hopefully we can join you again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when you build another building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what it takes?
I'm gonna learn how to ride one of them scooters though, because I felt like I walked to Clayton to get to where we're at right here.
We could get you a Segway to give that a shot.
Yeah. No, very cool. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. And once again, Trent and I, who's Farmers Insurance.
Tad with FlakePlace.com.
All right. See you guys next week. Thanks.